Hello! I just finished this book today and I felt the need to talk about it so deeply that when I was outside I literally wrote like a paragraph and a half of my feelings on this book. So this is the book that I read, Will They or Won't They by Ava Wilder. This is the same author who wrote How to Fake It in Hollywood, which I did try to read as well. I physically own that. Did I get through it? No. I didn't even bother to finish it. I couldn't get with it. I really didn't love the relationship on that one. I don't know, I didn't love it like at all. Besides the point. I was going somewhere and I saw this at the airport and I had this on my want to read list for a while and I was like, wow, it's probably good to get a book to read on the plane, even though I already had a book in my bag, but I will take any excuse to buy a book. I paid 20 bucks for this dude. Was it worth it? No. Okay, my opinion, I'm sorry, I didn't love it. Let me explain. Starting off, we have the two main characters, which are both just annoying to all hell. Straight up, they're very obnoxious characters. We have Lila, who's a redhead. She's tall, she's pretty, she's got all that. She's been acting her whole life. Not like her whole entire life, but she's been acting since she was younger. She's always been into acting, into theater. She started into it because of her anxiety. So good for her, love that, go off. And then we have Shane, who's never acted in his entire life, is very like, just falls into this job, falls into this interview, falls into all of this stuff. And they meet at this cute little chemistry read for this audition, and she's like 4 auditions in, there's 3 possible whatever Kates. Yeah, there's 3 possible Kates and 3 possible Harrisons, and they're all lined up next to each other, and those two immediately make eye contact and they're like, ooh, googly eyes. It's cute. I love that. That was great. Do we get to read the rest of the audition in the chemistry read? No. Was it a little heartbreaking? Yeah, because that's such a big part of an audition. I would have loved to read it and actually get like feel their emotions. Sometimes throughout this book I was able to feel what they were feeling, and other times I was like, why are you doing that? Why are you acting like that? You're bordering on 30 something. Girl, grow up. Solve your issues. So this book is fairly similar to The Reunion, which I read a while ago, and I also didn't finish that one as well. I'd say this one was slightly better, but the ending on this was like horrid. So I couldn't tell you. If you like one, you probably like the other. It's very contemporary, and the only reason I really read it was because of the acting sense. And I was like, give me cute romance. Was it there? Ugh. So they're supposed to have fiery hot chemistry in this book. Did I feel it? No. Could you feel it? I don't know. That's a you problem. It's up to you. In The Reunion by what's-her-face, that's very, very similar. We got a male dude, his name's Ransom, and this chickadee, I don't know her name, and she's got anxiety and he's existing, and they started on a show together when they were kids, and she had a crush on him and he had a crush on her, and then they're separated, and then once again they're back on a set together and they fall in love and whatever. So very similar premise, which is this. So the girlie gets the job, she gets to play Kate on the TV show, and then he gets the job, he gets to play Harrison. His name's Shane, and her name is like Lila, as I said earlier, which I didn't remember her name until I actually finished the book. Yeah, so Lila is a redhead, and he loves that for her. He's like, oh my god, she's beautiful. They immediately fall into lust. They do it. And it's like, okay, you did that. And they film season 1 together, and at the end of season 1, they have this blowout breakup, and you don't even know what the heck happened or how we got there in the first place. And I'm just like, okay. After that drama, which was not necessary, we got 9 seasons of them hating each other, and then she leaves the show to try and start her movie career. Does it work out for her? No. Box office flop. So now she goes crawling back to where she started from, which is this paranormal TV show that they did together. So these two have the most tumultuous relationship for practically no reason. If they just got over their differences, they'd be fine. Like, I'm reading it and it's just like an ego measuring contest for half of it. There's this one scene that really stood out. It's this photography scene where it's like a schmexy photography scene and they're all dressed up, whatever, and then they're going to like take the pictures and she's like on him and he's like, and they're like scandalous, you know? And you'd think something would go down, and it kind of does, but they're just like, oh, that's not sexy, what's wrong with you, and I just hate you, and then oh my god, I hate you, no, I hate you more, no, I hate you more. I'm like, girl, shut up. Sit down. Sit down and shut up. Like, ugh. Okay. Besides the point, I was very happy that they talked about the intimacy coordinator in a good light. Thank you. We love intimacy coordinators. Round of applause. Next, these are just like a few scenes that really stood out for me. This is like a spoiler-free review. I'm trying really hard not to say anything that is like integral to the story, just some parts that are just like stood out. There is this scene that I liked because it wasn't about just like them lusting over each other and being all up in each other's business. It was like actually romancy to the point where I'm like, oh, this could be the foundation of a relationship. Let me go get some plywood and I'm gonna start building a ship. But like it didn't turn out that way for me. So for that scene, it was a holiday of some sort. I think it was like New Year's or something. And they were just sitting on the floor, just talking to each other. I'm like, thank you, communication, because it was fully miscommunication. Like, it was so annoying. We had a jumble of miscommunication, lack of trust, lack of empathy, everything. Like, whatever. But I was just happy that they were actually talking to each other. I liked how it talked about the business and the fact that nothing is permanent. You have to continue to strive and work harder and grow as a human being, otherwise everything will just be fleeting. And how you have to deal with not getting jobs and how you have to deal with lifing and like trying to understand who you are as a person and all that stuff. Like, give me more of that, please. Not just the stupid running around back and forth like Tom and Jerry nonsense, okay? I want to feel the emotions, and I wasn't feeling it really when I was reading this book. Another scene that stood out, which annoyed me more, was this guy, his name's Shane, he's the dude. His whole thing is that he never wanted to be an actor in the first place. He just got picked up off the street and they're like, we want you, and then he made it all the way through because he's practically his character. His character is just a hyped up version of himself and he doesn't think he can play any other role. So they have this thing like SNL that's not SNL, and he goes on there and his whole entire thing that he bombs immediately because duh, is that he's trying to do all these different characters, do accents, do all this different stuff that he's never done in his entire life, and he expected it to go well, which sure it could, but it's just, if you don't prepare, and I don't know how you could prepare for that, but it's just, that was painful to read. It was physically painful to read. I was like, why did you do that, dude? Why would you do that to yourself? You're second guessing everything, and you thought that was a good idea. And then I just got bored. So there was that. Something I did enjoy about this book is, can't think of anything. I really can't. I can't think of anything. It's not, did I enjoy this book? I'd say it's about 3 stars. It's really nothing special. Actually, there is something I really did like about this book. I did like the scene where they were practicing for their scene together. That's repetitive, but you know what I mean. So they were going through the motions, they were doing the blocking, they were in their feels, they were acting, they were hitting the points, doing the dialogue. You could feel it. I was like, yes! It felt electric. That was what I wanted. That was beautiful. It was chemistry, and I felt the chemistry there and only there. I didn't really feel it in any of the rest of the book. I was like, what is this? But right there, oh! Yeah, I don't know. I really appreciated that scene, and that was like about it. But, oh, I was happy how realistic some of it was. with the fact that it was like a set, some of the friendships, how stuff works on set, the different dynamics, how you gotta deal with different people sometimes. But like the director scene where the director was expecting them to shoot 5 pages in one take with no cuts is completely crazy, especially since they had stunting, since they had choreography, since they had multiple moving parts. Like, that was never gonna work out. So of course they are behind by hours on the shooting schedule. Like, that's not gonna work out. Each page is about a minute. So that'd be 5 full minutes of different moving parts trying to move in tandem in order to create the scene that could be amazing. And the director guy was just like such a jerk about it. I'm like, you physically had no possible chance you could actually do that, because the only team that actually did that amazingly well, like scenes like that, would be Bear. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out that scene from Bear. It's beautiful, it's great, it's very theatrical, theatery. It's very theatery, and I enjoyed watching it a lot. So like, check out that scene if you haven't seen it already. It's on YouTube, like you can find it. It's beautiful and so well done. Like, the fact that this director in this book ever thought that was remotely possible, no. Possibly, but no. And it's like, ugh, especially in the freezing rain, and it's too difficult to get stunt doubles to switch out for your stunt doubles. So each character was like physically getting abused to the point where bruises were like popping up every second. So they had to like cover it with makeup, but like the makeup would wash away because of the rain. Like, that's so much for no reason. I felt like there was a lot going on in this book and literally nothing at all. The fun part wasn't really there. There was a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and like the lulls of nothingness drove me crazy. And this book does not follow chronological order like at all. It's like 5 years ago, this time, and you're just trying to put it all together and figure out what the heck is going on. So I was confused a bit. I was not paying attention really. I feel like I could have paid attention more when reading this, but when I got more towards the end, I was like, what did you say? What did you say? No, you didn't. And you did that? Like, I would just keep flipping. You know, it couldn't keep my attention, and I just wanted to know what happened next, because I knew otherwise I wouldn't be able to like read it. It's like that thing when you read the same page over and over again and you don't ingest the information. That's the whole entire book. That's what that felt like. I was like, what? Why would you do that? What did you freaking say? Huh? And I couldn't tell you what half the stuff went down in this book, other than that it was just wild. Also, for a main character that has a lot of anxiety, a fellow anxiety haver, I didn't feel it. I was like, why are you acting like that? I don't feel your existential dread based off like nothing. It's not there. Like, I want to feel the emotions, babes. I want to go through the motions. Not necessarily just anxiety, but like, I want to understand this character more, and I want her to feel more like a 3-dimensional human being. And she was just like, not the favorite. She's a character you don't like necessarily hate, but definitely not a lovable character. And then the dude, male lead, he was stale. He didn't have a lot of depth, I felt. I don't know, and it's just, okay. Why are we here? How did we get here, and where are we going from here? Because I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't. So that's my review of this book. It's late, I'm tired, I'm gonna go to bed. You're welcome. If you liked this book, good for you. I'm sorry I didn't, but yeah. I wish I saved that $20. Anyway, bye.